Sir, thank you. So, in this part, this is the part 3 of detailed Mercury, which we are discussing. So, if you have not seen part A or part second, please do watch it out. So, sir, in the part 3, you were talking about the debilitated Mercury.
Now, it is a very common thing for most of the astrologers and our viewers also, that if any planet is debilitated, it will be creating a lot of troubles in the life, and we won't be getting the benefits and other things.
Right.
So, for this, I take an example of a debilitated Mercury.
Right, sir.
And this debilitated Mercury is in sign of Pisces, and this is the horoscope of Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein.
Yeah. Now, first we must understand what is debilitation,
Right.
and what is this. Every planet is just like this sine wave. Every planet has got the radiation, and it has got like a sine wave. This is the top point, and this is called exhalation.
Right, sir.
And this is the lowest point and called debilitation. Now these two are 180-degree opposites, and that's why every exhalation and debilitation is 180-degree apart.
Right.
Opposite signs, 180-degree apart.
Right, sir.
Now, what is the meaning of exhalation? Exhalation means he is having the maximum strength here to move forward.
Right.
And after that, what will happen? It will go down, go down and come to the debilitation.
Right.
Now, debilitation is the point from where you start and you start rising. You start rising and come, and again you rise to the exhalation. This means this is the lowest point, and if you have to work hard to reach to the top. You have to work hard to reach to the top. That is the only meaning of the debilitation. Debilitation is not bad. This means you have to work hard. Now, what work? Basically, everybody says work hard, but work hard what? Now, this is the area where you are debilitated. You are under the control of Pisces. In the case of Mercury. You are is under control of Pisces. Now, what Pisces says, you have to do it, because you are the tenant there. Mercury is the tenant there.
Right.
So, if Mercury is tenant here, then Pisces will say that you have to do.
Right.
And if you do that, you will rise. So this means what Pisces says? Pisces will say according to the lordship, that is Jupiter. What Jupiter says? Where is the Jupiter? Jupiter is in the house 9th and in the sign of Aquarius. This means Aquarius is a scientific sign and thinker sign.
Right.
You think, and you will find the path. You think and think you are getting this path because you have to trace this path. You go on thinking and you will get the path. Now, the other aspect of Pisces is it is a silence zone.
Right.
Sadhana Kaksha. Silence.
Yeah.
And it is a backyard, away from the public eyes.
Right.
So whatever you want to do, you have to do in a isolation. Just like a lab, it can be just like any closed chamber. There you do the work and you will succeed, because the path goes from that route. The path goes from that route. Now, problem with the Mercury is that he cannot leave his own characteristics. Mercury is a chatter. Mercury cannot remain still.
Right.
So what will happen? This is the silence zone, 12th, Pisces.
Right.
Now it is a silence zone, This means your work must be in the silence zone. 12 sign in the 10th house means your work karma and work must be in the silence zone. But in the silence zone, due to your inherent nature of chatting, you cannot remain silent. So what will happen? If you start chatting, then the landlord, Jupiter, will be angry with you and he will scold you and let you go out.
Right.
So what one must do? The one must go that just sit with the teacher. This is the field of teacher, Guru, Jupiter. Learn here. When you are in the mood of chatting, you go outside. You go outside and then again come back. Do not disturb that area.
Right.
That zone must not be disturbed. This is a great hint for Pisces Mercury students. They should sit at one place, study, and whenever they want to communicate or want to go their telephone or mobile, they go outside and come back again. This is the pattern. This is actually the Jupiter field. And here Mercury is a student, and a student is in the house of teacher. What does it mean? He is a lifelong learner. Lifelong learner. Always getting teachings. This means he cannot, throughout the life, he will be doing something and learning. That is the positive aspect of this debilitated Mercury.
Sir, this also give me the understanding, not only Mercury in Pisces, I think if any of the other student of the subscriber or the follower have many planets in Pisces or 3 or 4 planets in Pisces, they should isolate themselves and then start learning.
Yeah, the basic thing is here Venus is not creating problem. Venus is in the exalted state, means his mind is in the pleasure, top pleasure. Mind is in the top pleasure.
Right.
Now Saturn is here. Saturn is contributing what? Lord of 8th and 9th. 8th house, that is the secret of the world. That is contributing.
Yeah. Secrets, yes, absolutely.
So that's why you have seen the life of the Einstein. He used to go and take bath, then going there and then coming back again. He could not sit still at one place. Yeah. That was the tendency of this debilitated Mercury.
And that too, Lagna Lord is Gemini.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
So this is the point of a debilitated Mercury. Now I take one more example of Mercury in the 8th house. Right. Now Mercury is here in the 8th house.
Right.
This Mercury in the Aquarius sign. There are few scientific signs. 3, 6, 10, 11. These are the scientific signs. Scientific does not mean the science subjects only. Scientific means the systematic study of the systems. Now, Mercury is in the 8th house, Aquarius. This means the person, this is the main house of Mars. And Mercury is just like a camera. Here, Mercury is a surveillance camera, and Mars is also aspecting this. This means Mars is giving the energy to the Mercury. So here the person can dig down deep to any scientific subject. He can dig down deep to any scientific subject. And moreover, what subject? That you see, that Mercury Nakshatra is Dhanishta. That is Mars. Mars is here. And Mars is placed in the Scorpio sign again. This means the Scorpio sign means the deep subjects of scientific nature. And this person is a doctor, basically. And and most of the cases you will find when Saturn is in the 6th house, he will be mostly in the medical fields. The reason being that from here it aspects the 8th house and the 12th house. OPD, ICU, surgery and ICU. Most of the things you will find he is always connected with the fault finding and create this conflict solving. And moreover, for any good doctor, the moon should be afflicted. The reason being, because if you are emotionally driven, you cannot be a good doctor. So moon is afflicted with the Ketu. And there are not many things.
Jupiter is in Ashwini, that too in the
Jupiter is in Ashwini. There is there are a lot many other factors also that confirms his medical.
This is a perfect chart for a doctor. Perfect chart.
Now Mercury bindus are 5.
Right.
Now here you see, here Mercury has got 6 and 5 and 6. These 3 are the medical places. And here where Mercury is very strong. Any point more than 4 is good.
Good.
In a Vinashtak. Right. So this is the use of this Mercury. And finally, I come to a chart, but perhaps I used to prefer making by my own hand.
Manually.
So instead, I find lot many things at one place.
Right.
So that I have not to turn up. I am not so much computer friendly. so this is
these slides are very handy.
Huh?
These slides are very handy.
So I actually, in order to see the performance of the only to take up the Mercury, not going into detail.
Okay.
Mercury is here in the 6th house.
Right.
6th is the house of daily routine.
Right.
Daily working and daily routine. Lord of the 2nd and 11th is here in the Mercury.
Right, sir.
This means the earning houses goes to the 6th house. So this means this moreover confirms the job. Service. More confirms the service. Now we come to the Mercury. Mercury is in the Capricorn. Capricorn sign. Capricorn sign is the sign of continuous effort. Because its symbol is a goat climbing to the cliff and slips, then goes again. The repeated attempts. Now Mercury is in the field of Saturn. Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is a networking sign. This means the person is in some networking company. Now this Saturn is in the 7th house. What is 7th house? 7th house is exchange. Give material, take money. Give material, take money. This means some MNC that brings the product and sells it. This is the way. Now Mercury, I want to start with the Mercury Nakshatra, that is Dharsha, and that is the Mars. Mars is very strong here. Mars is aspecting the Jupiter. This is the degree. 4th house denotes the degree of the education. 9th house is higher education, but any education, the degree is seen by the 4th house. Why it is seen? It is also to be known. Now here Jupiter is the lord of 8th. 8th means sudden change. Sudden change. Sudden change of Mercury Nakshatra aspect. This person was in a scientific field up to 12th class with PCMB and switched back to languages in graduation. Strong Jupiter and Venus.
And he's only 95 born.
Yeah. Switch back to language, and he did his German language masters and others, and very successful in MNC. Because here you can see 8 is the sign. Wherever it falls, some transformation is going to take place. Sudden jhatka is going to happen there. And similar is with the Mars 8. You see, Pada is Scorpio Jupiter. This means the sudden blow to the knowledge or education. Jupiter.
It's on the last pada. Yeah.
So the person consulted me, his parents consulted me that is going to go for this language, and got 95% marks in this, and engineering he was selected. I told him, let him go, because he will be traveling worldwide.
Right.
Now how? Ketu in the 9th, Banjara life. Ketu in the 9th, searching the knowledge throughout the world. In a one word, searching the knowledge throughout the world. And aspects the mass. So he is very successful, no doubt.
Right.
So these are the things actually we have to see lot many factors, and this here they 37 points are in the fourth house. So a good master's degree and others with the top marks after switching the language. Now, any questions, or we can discuss.
Sir. Right, sir. Sir, I do have a couple of questions. So if we can stop the screen.
Okay.
I have a couple of the general questions, sir.
Okay. I just put out this sharing.
Right, sir.
Yes.
Right. Sir, it was very beautiful segment, especially with the slides. You can relate more because you can actually see the chart. Because also sometimes in the YouTube or on other platform, people give you one planet and they want you to say something about it. I always tell them I cannot do it, because the way my brain works, I need the full chart in front of me in order to say something. I cannot, if you say Mars in Scorpio, I cannot analyze anything about. So these slides are very handy, very handy. So thank you again very much for this brief discussion. Brief. Sir, few of the questions I have on a general basis. I know with the time thing, we cannot go in brief. What if this processor gets retrograde? Then how it will behave? What are your suggestions on that? So hypothetically, if we take an example of Aries Lagna, Mercury in the natural 9th house and Sagittarius this processor gets retrograde, then how it will behave?
Actually, we go with the planets. In reality, all planets move in the same directions.
Right.
There is no retrogression, but it appears with the relative speed that one is moving
backwards. Yes.
Now, retrogression means a very simple meaning and practical meaning is, if you go there, if you log your house,
right,
and go reach to the lift side,
right,
then you remember something, you come back and open the door and come.
Yep.
Retrograde means you have to be cautious and make more little effort to overcome the habit of looking 2 times or more times the same things. Right. This creates the suspicions also in the mind.
Okay.
That you want to be a very sure. Now the Virgo is the main criteria. Now Virgo is basically the conflict solving. Virgo is the sign that separates right from the wrong, blood from the urine, that is kidney, why it is seen by this. All our organs which filters out, these are seen by the Virgo. Now this means you want to be sure that this thing is right thing is here and wrong thing is here.
Right.
Now you go outside. This mindset is there and you become very cautious. I am using the word, and these are synonyms to the Virgo sign. Cautious. You become cautious, come back. You send some letter and put in the envelope. Then again, there is a something happens. You just open the wrapper and see whether it is there or not. You want to double sure.
Double confirm. Yeah.
So this is the habit of the Virgo, and that is of the Mercury. Mercury, Gemini sign, is not going to do these things. He will utter and go.
He's more talkative.
Virgo sign is more cautious and more retrograde effects are there. Retrograde simple means you have to be more cautious and more efforts you have to do to come out of this syndrome. This is only meaning I have observed. Lot many these Nadi persons say that you will treat this in the next house and other things. This is very I can't.
So another thing. Many of the charts come where a lot of kids have trouble speaking. I'm sure you must have seen many charts like that. Yes. And trouble with autism. So what are your suggestions for those parents?
Basically, actually, when you want to see any chart of regarding speech and speech problems, you must see the second house first. Correct?
Right.
Now, the sign, you have got few signs are dumb signs.
Okay.
You have seen, if dumb sign falls in the second house or third house, right, their chances increases.
Sir, when you say dumb sign,
you actually I can send the chart of this signs where the qualities of signs are, some are blind sign, some are dumb sign, some are the quadruped sign, some are other. If you study the signs properly, right, then there are mute signs or dumb sign.
Right, mute right. Barren signs, yeah.
Yeah. So barren sign we take in progeny.
Right.
The in child terms of progeny, yes. But this is a mute sign, you can say. So mute sign you can see in the sign under signs. Now the third thing is to be seen the aspect. Aspect of the Saturn
on the second
makes the thing slow.
Okay.
If the aspect of Saturn is there, or Saturn field is having the problem, right, then this speech becomes slow. And finally comes the nakshatra. Finally comes the nakshatra. Few nakshatra are very silent nakshatras that you can see from your nakshatra. You are expert in nakshatra.
No.
So you can see that one. Then if out of these four vectors, house, sign, aspect of Saturn and nakshatra, right, if three are there, then the problem is more. If two are there, it can be managed. Now, what should be the best remedy to carry out?
Please, sir, please.
The best remedy is, first of all, the Mercury is the main karak. Now, Mercury nakshatra, Bij mantra, recitation is the main remedy. Right. Now, if Mars aspect is on these things, then one requires the surgery.
Okay.
So these are the, depends on the horoscope to horoscope, but the basic factors are four. Right. House, sign, planet and nakshatra. And in that Mercury you can see the nakshatra and Saturn. Mercury, Saturn aspect making the things slow.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense.
And moreover, the sign, fixed sign, makes the more problematic. If it is a movable sign, it will try to move the things.
Situation.
So actually, all factors we have to understand if we analyzing in a total.
Right.
So,
Sir, when you mentioned about the Bij mantra, you meant Mercury placed in any nakshatra, you do the Bij mantra of that. Is that right?
That nakshatra, yeah.
Right. Totally makes sense.
I have seen this very helpful in many cases, and moreover, I have found it very effective, properly done.
Yeah, because a lot of cases of slow speech, autism comes these days, and parents are very worried. So that is why I thought it's better to bring this thing up from the expert, which is you. So better you answer that. And sir, another thing which I wanted to ask is, aajkal like remedy ka zamana hai. So what are the general remedies one can do if they think they have weak Mercury? What are the general remedies you prescribe?
Actually, I don't prescribe this way.
Okay.
The whole horoscope has to be
has
seen.
to be analyzed. Yes.
Now, first thing is why we want the Mercury. Why we say Mercury is weak? Mercury may be weak for few things, but may not be weak for all things.
All the things. Yes.
What is your requirement basically? The first thing is, if we want the body strength or with the physical world, we must see that body, mind, and soul. This means the three things you should be strong: sun, moon, and Mercury. The general thing is sun, moon, and Mercury. What is the strength of these Vinnastak Bindus in the first house, in the sixth house, in the eighth house, and in the 12th house? First house is your strength. Sixth house is your disease or opposition. If the Bindus in the first house are strong and sixth house are weak, this means you can overcome the problem easily.
Right.
But if the sixth house has got more than 30 Bindus and the first house has got less than 24 Bindus, then it is a chronic case and it is a lifelong problem.
Right. Yeah, so some people have more points in the sixth and less in the ascendant. Yes.
Yeah, so this is the main criteria one must judge. And another is the strength of the ascendant, sun and moon. And for the processor, definitely the Mercury.
Right. So last question. Do Mercury do well on a mundane level? Do Mercury do well in its own nakshatras? This is the another conception people have. What do you think on that? So Mercury in Ashalesha, Mercury in Revati, Mercury in Jeshta. Again, I know whole chart needs to be seen, but
actually the difference is, the first of all, we have seen what Mercury is doing. First of all,
right.
Mercury will do as per the instructions of the house. Suppose it is in the fourth house, it will go for the knowledge or land and other things, fourth house affairs. First thing is to see what Mercury is doing. Then you see the sign, the manner of doing the work. Sign will tell you the manner of working of the Mercury. And then comes the nakshatra. Now the Mercury in the own nakshatra is very jiddi, cannot change its traits easily.
Yes.
So for Mercury is an Ashlesha, for example.
Right.
It is in the field of moon.
Right.
Now moon wants the emotions. Mercury, emotions like mother.
Right.
Mercury wants analysis.
Right.
Mother cannot analyze.
Right.
Mother cannot see the fault in the child.
Right.
She is emotionally driven.
Involved.
That's why the moon Mercury period nearly creates always trouble for everybody.
Right.
There is an emotional conflict.
I can think of that too. Yes.
So that is the traits of the Ashlesha.
Right.
Similarly, other nakshatra you can find out.
Right.
So Moon Mercury, you have to see the Mercury wants analysis.
Right.
And he is in the good in the company of analyzing persons, such like Aquarius.
Right.
Aquarius person is very good.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You are intellectual, I am also intellectual. You can analyze, I can analyze. You can spread my data. 11, Aquarius is a data spreader. You
Right.
can spread my data, I can provide you data.
Right.
That's why this is our company.
Right, sir.
So that's why they are on the same highway.
Sir, mentioning about the Moon Mercury, again the another most feared conjunction is Mars Mercury. So what
No,
is your say on that?
Mars, Mercury, let us analyze. See, Mars is kinetic energy.
Right.
It will try to move the things.
Right.
Mercury creates the analysis. Mars is a penetration, wants immediate action. If
Right.
it is in the Aries.
Right.
And in a Scorpio, it wants the penetration, like sex.
Right.
And Mercury wants to analyze. It takes the time. That's why there is a conflict. Now, if Mars Mercury is there, Mars is strong, Mercury person must surrender to the Mars. He will be happy. And if Mercury is strong, it will try to prevent the Mars. It is a war between the this Sur-Asur war.
Right.
There is a war between the planets.
Right. Right.
That is taking place.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Again, I
Okay.
have a lot of questions. We can take that some other time, but thank you again, sir, for your time. I know it was more than a couple of hours now, but thank you again, sir. Thank you. It is
Okay.
always a pleasure learning with you, sir.
Oh, thank you, Aman ji.